The real story of the Aztec Empire beyond the myths. When you picture the Aztecs, what comes to mind? Probably powerful rulers, towering pyramids, and a lost golden city. It's a history that feels written in stone and shrouded in mystery. But what if I told you that story is mostly a myth? That the real history of the Aztec Empire isn't about simple primitivism, but about political genius, clever alliances, and a sophisticated society that could rival any in the world. The empire wasn't just built on force, it was built with a cleverness that turned a small band of outcasts into the masters of Mesoamerica. This is how they really did it. Long before they were an empire, the people we call the Aztecs, the Mexica, were basically wandering outcasts. They were the last to arrive in the Valley of Mexico, a land already full of powerful established city-states. Their new neighbors saw them as uncultured and pushed them into the worst real estate available, the swampy, marshy islands of Lake Texcoco. But what looked like a raw deal was actually their greatest opportunity. On one of those islands, they founded their capital, Tenochtitlan. It was a natural fortress. From this waterlogged home, they started to plan. They became skilled partners for hire, serving the dominant power in the valley, the Tepanecs. All the while, they were learning the game of politics and influence, just waiting for their moment to turn the tables. That moment came in 1428. In a shocking power flip, the Mexica, led by their visionary leader Itzcoatl, joined forces with two other major cities, Texcoco and Tlacopan. This was the birth of the Triple Alliance, the political machine we now call the Aztec Empire. Now, this wasn't an empire like Rome with a single emperor controlling everything. Think of it more as a strategic partnership. Cities that joined the alliance were usually allowed to keep their own rulers and their own way of life, as long as they contributed. It was a brilliant system. Tenochtitlan brought the organizational strength, Texcoco was the brainy center for law and culture, and Tlacopan chipped in as a junior partner. The rewards of their joint ventures were then split between them, with Tenochtitlan and Texcoco taking the biggest cuts. This flexible structure allowed them to guide a huge, diverse region without getting bogged down in micromanagement, and it fueled their explosive growth. So, how did this alliance not just hold together but become so powerful? The secret was in its economic system, one of the most sophisticated in the ancient world: tribute. The Aztec Empire was essentially a giant tribute network. When a city state was brought into the fold, its leaders didn't get replaced. They just got a new list of contributions. These payments weren't just gold, they were a stunning variety of goods: beautifully woven textiles, elaborate ceremonial attire, precious cacao beans, brilliant green feathers, and most importantly, tons of food to feed the booming population of Tenochtitlan. This tribute was the economic engine that paid for everything: the empire's civic projects, the nobility, the temples, and to make it all work, massive markets sprang up where tens of thousands of people gathered to trade goods from every corner of the empire, weaving all of Mesoamerica into a single bustling economy. And here's where the story gets even more interesting. Beyond the high level politics and tribute lists, Aztec society was incredibly organized. They had a complex legal system with courts at different levels to handle disputes and punish crimes. But maybe the most surprising thing they had was a system of mandatory education. The idea was that every child, whether they were a noble's kid or a commoner's boy or girl, went to school. Commoner children attended the Telpochcali, a type of neighborhood school where they learned history, religion, and a trade or civic duties. The children of nobles went to the more prestigious Calmecac, which trained them to be the next generation of leaders, priests, and scholars. A society focused on universal education, civic duty, and law. That's a long way from the one dimensional myth of a culture defined only by its power. The real story is always more complex and way more fascinating than the simple myths we're told. If you want to keep digging into the histories you only think you know, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps us keep these stories coming. In the end, the Aztec Empire's decline wasn't just because of its own internal structure, its biggest weakness was baked right into its design. As a loose alliance that relied on tribute from its member states, it was simmering with resentment. And when newcomers from across the sea arrived, they expertly used those resentments to create internal divisions. The end of Tenochtitlan's reign in 1521 wasn't just the end of a city, it was the shattering of the Triple Alliance. But its legacy is still there, buried right under the streets of modern day Mexico City, a testament to an empire built just as much on brilliant strategy as on collective strength. If you're fascinated by history, mysteries, ancient civilizations, and the hidden secrets of our world, explore my channel. I share captivating short videos that uncover the past, reveal untold stories, and ignite your curiosity about the wonders of humanity.